Hey. So I've just decided that I'm starting to get questions, so I will answer them on my commute. So it's Friday and I'm commuting, and hi. So the question is, how has going from being a stay-at-home mom and trying to lose weight and take care of yourself changed from working full-time while still having a family and a husband and needy ass dog? How has that changed? Well, the first thing is that I must treat my health as a priority every day that I get older. Just from being at different weights and different circumstances throughout my life. From morbidly obese to at a heavy, or not heavy, but a healthy marathon, ultra marathon running weight. And so being healthy, I think in America, because it's so like, I mean, obviously it's capitalistic, but I personally think that we should go down to a 4-day work week and a 3-day weekend and not have any difference in pay. Like, it's an annual pay. But anyway, that's just me. In corporate America, that's just me. Sorry. Okay, I have to stop. See, this is why I stopped recording, because I wanted to keep my job. Okay, back to health. So I have found that I must treat this as a part-time job. The cooking, the cleaning up after your cooking, the planning, the shopping, the budgeting, the meal planning, what goes with what, new recipes that you get sick of. And I meal prep. I try to meal prep on Sundays and Wednesdays, but Wednesdays now I'm taking kids to youth group, so I'm no longer meal prepping, and I'm like, okay, well, maybe I'll make that like a gym time and just try to change something else around, because I'm not currently I have nothing going on Wednesday nights. So anyway, it's a part-time job, and treating it getting in your steps, getting in your water, washing your dishes, just kind of everything that goes with it, plus the time it takes to get in your steps and get in a workout and lift weights. And I have found that there's a cost to being healthy, and the cost is time, the cost is energy, the cost is planning and for having foresight and looking ahead, and being someone that, this is going to sound really weird, but I was thinking this yesterday, is that I've been basically unhealthy my entire life. I started binge eating when I was 4, and but I am a survivor of sexual and physical abuse as a toddler, and then kind of just a survivor of complex post-traumatic stresses in my childhood, CPTSD. And so my maladaptive coping mechanism has always been food. Like, when I needed to put alcohol down, I put it down. When I needed to put drugs down, I put them down. When I needed to put smoking down, I put it down. But food is like, and the more that I sit with my binge eater, and the more that I allow her to speak, and the more that I kind of give her a seat at the table and a voice, and I allow the critic and the judgment and all of that, like, they need to be quiet if we're all seated at a table, and I let the binge eater speak. When I have let her speak, I'm like, well, what do you need and why are you here? And she's like, relief. I just want relief. And after that is when I started really listening to that voice, and it was the voice of pain. And then I started observing that voice more, and that voice told me, I just want to be validated, and I just want someone to be held accountable for this wound. And so what I would do is I would ruminate and hold this person accountable in my mind and in my heart. Meanwhile, what I really needed was myself to validate my own story and validate what happened to me. But then when you also are a person that is raised with people who lie, people who gaslight you, and people who mentally abuse you, and kind of it's a household of abuse and neglect, you know, believing in yourself is not something that one does. And I remember, I look at it so differently as a 45-year-old and as a mother of 3 daughters. Like, it used to be I remember how it was my fault and I was judged because I didn't have any self-esteem. By my former stepfather. And, well, that's because of you, motherfucker. 1 + 1 is 2, motherfucker. Like, okay, anyway. I digress. So, leaning into your pain, coming against your ego, actually taking care of your body, your meat suit, this thing that holds you to this life, this thing that you are loving and living and climbing and running and sitting, and I have so many other adjectives that I want to use, but I'm not going to use them here. I feel like because my life was brought to an extreme so early on in age, that I have now, as I've alchemized and I've metabolized, I have this extreme capacity. And so it's leading me to really challenge myself in these moments. But I'm noticing that it's completely my ego. And then so I'm putting myself in check, and I'm like talking to my husband, and I'm like, okay, this is what's going on. And he's like, well, I don't really see a problem with that. And I'm like, yeah, I know that's the problem. I'm talking about training for a marathon again. But the problem is that I have to get to I have to pass phase 1. Because what my ego wants to do is be like, I'm 45, I'm running a marathon. Look, I've still got it. I'm back. You know, like, you know, like that whole hero's arc. Like, I want to have a hero's arc in my own journey. But the problem is that when you force it, rather than it just being forced upon you, then it's still vapid. So it's like, okay, I'll just sit down and shut up and wait for life to like happen to me, and my hero's arc can happen because of that. It's fine. But also, I also love a challenge, and I would love to ring that bell one more time and maybe get an arrowhead. And I think but I have to pass phase 1, and phase 1 is I have to run this 10K on March 21st. And so I've, you know, with age, I've put limits on myself and like limits on my ego, and I can feel myself like these people don't know how to zipper. They don't know how to merge zipper merge. Yeah, welcome to Minnesota. What am I talking about? Guys, okay. Fuck. Fucking Friday. It's fucking 7:30. Of course it is. Everyone's crazy. Okay, chill, Lindsay. Yes, let's switch lanes. Okay, so, 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 okay hot is my coffee. So you just get to spend my whole commute with me. Oh, she's super hot. Okay. Woo! It's Lakeshore. Caribou. Lakeshore. Okay, so back to how has my life changed since going back to work full time, and so it is going to be a part-time job. So if you at any stage in your life, whether you're 21 or 15 or 45 or 67 or 81, changing your lifestyle and habits to be one of someone who doesn't do this into someone who does do this requires a part-time job amount of focus and kind of discipline to show up for that part-time job every day. And do a good job, and kind of be like, because some days I just punch in and punch out, right? I'm just punching in and punching out. Like, when you live in survival, some days you're just punching in and punching out. You get through it, and then hopefully you can sleep through the night, you can wake up, you can face another day. So I've been trying to lose weight and get healthy and get this like menopausal midlife, everything's crisis. That's why it's called the midlife quiet. Like 20 pounds off. And I have to add more time. I have to find more energy to just take that one extra step that will make all of the difference, which right now it's my NEAT, it's my non-exercise activity, and then also my steps. Like if I'm averaging, like if I'm intentional with my steps, I'm getting like 10 to 12,000, sometimes 13,000 a day. But the days that I'm not intentional with my steps, where I'm super, super busy at work, and I'm not like getting up and walking, which I need to be doing, I'm probably only getting at most 8,000 if I go to the office. And then if I'm working from home, which I do 2 days a week, and I don't intentionally get my steps in. And mind you, this is February something or other, I forgot my watch, shoot, in the middle of winter in Minnesota. But I have a walking pad at home, and I pay $28 a month for a cute little gym membership that has an old ass treadmill. It's just finding the energy to do it, creating the energy to do it, finding the space to do it. And what I have been noticing is where my energy is kind of going and where my focus is going has been what's been going on in my life politically and in my state and with my family and with my friends and with our friends at school and with this administration. And because I'm awake, not asleep, and it feels like it has zapped all of my energy, which I know it's a cost, and I'm choosing to stay informed, and I'm choosing to stay educated about what's going on in our country. I'm married to a veteran. I'm the daughter of a veteran. I'm the granddaughter of a veteran, a one-star general. So I am a patriot at heart, but that word has a terrible connotation to it right now. So I love America. But what I also know, I don't know why this is going here. Should this be going here? What I also believe is, what I kind of feel and hear is that, the patriarchy, the darkness, the cesspool that is and has been running our country and kind of like in charge is all coming to a head and, gonna pop and everything. And we're witnessing it popping, but we're also, under regime, and I never thought that this could happen in my country. And I've talked to my husband at home, we talk for hours a lot, almost every day, and I'm like, there's no way that could happen. Like, there's no way that could happen. And I swear there's been like 17 or 18 things that were in the project for last year, where I'm like, where I have like, but they did it. It happened. It is happening. It is real. And my grandparents informed me when I was a child. They were history teachers and English teachers, and they read books, and they were educated, and I don't have that long of an education, and I don't come, I come from preachers and teachers and farmers, so and I'm self-educated. I'm going around you. Anyway, I need to wrap this up. So, where was I going? My energy has been going to that, and what's been going on politically in our country. And when I peel myself away from it, that's when I'm getting up and walking and doing, but I'm also really busy at work right now. So to wrap this up, getting healthy and changing your life, and James Clear did write in Atomic Habits, like, it's really just about doing 1% better every day, and it is. But and maybe I'm just over exaggerating this, but I was coming from a place of complete collapse. So I was coming from a place of the complete opposite of health. I had let everything go. All of my focus for myself went to saving my family, saving my husband, keeping him alive, and keeping my job. And keeping my damn house clean. And then Moose had to be put down. And then we're back in the emergency room for this, that, and the other thing. And now we're in this, that, and the other thing. And we had to have a puppy because we had a puppy. Building and building and building and building and crumbling and crumbling and crumbling and crumbling. And everything was just going into ruins, and my health went with it. And, Nate and I both are talking this morning that we both are, probably are. I definitely am back in insulin resistance, and he's talking about being type 2 diabetic, and, just all of the signs are pointing to us getting healthy again and not letting this go. And so, being an extreme person, well, I haven't been extreme with my diet. I've been working on this. October 10th is when I really started focusing, and then we had the holidays and everything, and I was just like, screw it. But then starting in January, I have really, really, really been intentional of being at least like 80%, or I was counting 80% of like days that I was like doing it, and I haven't lost any weight, but I know I'm recomping my body because I've bumped my protein up like at least 120 every day, and I've bumped my fiber up. I'm eating much better. I'm sleeping much better. My GI is much better. I'm feeling much stronger. My pain is almost gone in my body. So it is working, but it is a part-time job. So it took me 20 minutes to say that. Thank you for coming with me on my commute. If you have any questions, please comment down below. You can also email me. Take Back Your Territory isn't a thing anymore, but I am writing on Substack again at A Midlife Quiet. That's the only other platform I'm on is Substack and YouTube, and I probably won't be going ever back on any of that. So like, comment, subscribe, do all those fun things, and well, happy Friday. So send me a question. Okay.